Hey everybody, good morning. Falling in reverse. Everybody's jumping on this one. But I listened to it a couple times, so on my twice baked sessions that I do now, um, I decided that I was just going to thrust my opinion out there amongst everybody else's who's jumping on the video for a response and review because of the fact that it's completely different in the sense that I'm not, naturally when I'm listening to 99% of the music on this channel, it has to do with powerful rhythms and musicianship and guitar playing. There have been quite a few tracks out of the 800 I've done that are more focused on the melodic and the transcending impact that music has on us based on melody and lyrics. Bands like Radiohead and stuff like that. But I have to say, when I heard this track, first of all, I was really super pleased with some of the engineering things I'm about to bring out, let alone the arrangements. And I think, without a doubt, if you are a fan of Falling in Reverse, this is also a super different performance. I also read a lot of the comments. Apparently, this is a cover song, of which I don't know what the original song is, haven't heard of it. So to me, this is at least the experience of the song in of itself is a first. I think for me, the same thing happened when Whitney Houston came out with I Will Always Love You, and then realized Dolly Parton wrote that a bazooka years earlier. So it's that kind of thing, so I get to really hear the song for the first time. So anyhow, thank you guys so much for hanging out. It's a Thursday, weekend's coming up. I got my cup of coffee. Links are down below for Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, but most of all, cups of coffee. All right. Okay, guys. Nami Nam. Let's do this. This is Falling in Reverse. I like the word re-imaged instead of covered and stuff like that too. I thought that was pretty cool when I realized it was a cover. All right, guys, this is Falling in Reverse, Last Resort. Oop, I got to reset it. Here we go. All right.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my arm bleeding. This is my last resort. Cut my life into pieces. Erase my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my arm bleeding. Do you even care if I die bleeding? Would it be wrong or it be right if I took my life tonight? Chances are that I might. Mutilation out of sight, and I'm contemplating suicide. I'm contemplating suicide. 'Cause I'm losing my sight, losing my mind. Wish somebody would tell me I'm fine. Losing my sight, losing my mind. Wish somebody would tell me I'm fine. I am fine.
All right, so something about this, when I would listen to it for the first time, I thought the first thing I leaned into, because my whole life has been based around arrangements, not necessarily song composition. So the skill set that composers or people in the music industry use in order to make additions to tracks that are not natively part of, let's say, the band setup. What I'm talking about here is the string arrangements on this, or the pad addition with the string arrangement. Whoever did this took some really nice details of less is more. And what I loved about what it opened up with, it sounded like, I learned to say that, not that I know, but it sounded like it opened up with a string pad, which means it's, like a keyboard sounding string, but it's a pad. It's not, trying to give you the essence of the ambience or the etherealness of strings. But then on top of that, is when they bring in live strings. Sounds like live strings. As that kind of opens up, there's a breathing, there's a pulse to that. That is a powerful addition to what I believe the singer's name is Ronnie, to his performance. So this breathing and pulling between light pad work, strings come in, strings come out, is a powerful texture that gives what I want to call an emotional support dog string section kind of vibe. You know, you feel comforted by that, you know. And another wonderful technique in the engineering on this, and I've been playing a lot of video games on my other channel, and link below. And so I've been diving into a lot of OST work, and a lot of the OST work, very thematic. That's what I love about this track too. It's very thematic sounding, very musical theater as well. Is the use of the reverb on the piano, very important, gives us that ethereal vibe. You know, and we find a lot of that kind of use in very different techniques in a lot of video games. But, and I also like the slight little creepiness of a secondary pad when he gets kind of into the hook of the track. To me, that's very powerful. I know I haven't said much about Ronnie's voice. I'll say that for later. But as far as what the power of that string arrangement does to the track and how it supports his vocal performance, to me, is paramount on this track.
I realized I was spread too thin till it was too late and I was empty within, feeding on chaos and living in sin. Downward spiral, where do I begin? It all started when I lost my mother. No love for myself and no love for another. To find a lover at a higher level, finding nothing but questions and devils. 'Cause I'm losing my sight, losing my mind. Wish somebody would tell me I'm fine. Losing my sight, losing my mind. Wish somebody would tell me I'm fine. Nothing is
Okay, so right there, a couple things I want to talk about. I'm focusing on the strings. I'm sorry, guys. This is what I'm doing on this. Well, okay, let me take that back. Ronnie's voice is immaculate in this performance. It is just outstanding. His ability to go from his head voice to his chest and completely rip and shred and just give us a little bit of that smokiness, ripped sound without going way overboard, and managing to maintain a clear tone as he drifts between head voice into the more ripped, shredded part of the vocals that give you that agitated heaviness. There's a couple times where he goes where I think it feels like he's going slightly below his comfort pocket and he gets lower, but I don't have a really big, you know, I think I've only done 2 or 3 songs of Falling in Reverse, so I don't have a big excuse me, knowledge base of, you know, what the diversity is in his tone. There's a couple times he went low where I could feel that he really had to make the adjustment to in his voice and his performance, that it wasn't like in a native spot. But I mean, that's not, I think, you know, that's all I can say about Ronnie's performance. It's just killer. It's smoking. But for me, as I'm listening to the strings on this, once again, I only go back into the video game world because we hear a lot of this in bombastic, epic pieces and also musical theater style, you know, music behind video games. You're blowing things up, or it's a happy scene like, you know, Final Fantasy or whatever. One of the things that I recognize right off the bat in the second half is the ostinato, or that that we hear in the background. That's a wonderful way to use the strings to cause and create a little power and forward movement, barring them, let's say, coming in with power crunch chords and the drums and everything. So it keeps the integrity to me and shoves forward the authenticity of the build. By what's happening there, building, and then hits you with this final bit. And at this point, we have all strings in. And what I mean by that is pad, organic, I can't remember if they kept the ostinato, but then all of a sudden it sounds like there's kind of a horn section in the background. Kind of sounds like it to me. It's kind of buried in the back. But what I really enjoyed about this is that the string section was used as like a way that Devin Townsend would use his giant, chords. Rah, rah, and the string section actually is just as hot, if not hotter, than Ronnie's voice. So to me, that's a great, great, great use. Engineering, producing, whoever made all those decisions and all that. That's a very powerful, very wise, very dynamic use of the strings to get this big build in. Boom! They just pulled it back. And to me, that's sick. That's why I wanted to listen to this piece and bring it to you guys. Was to bring out that thing. I don't think there are a lot of strings. There are a lot of orchestral parts in heavy metal, metalcore, and all kinds of stuff. But usually it's kind of a novelty addition, unless the band actually focuses on it throughout one discog, one after another. But this is why I wanted to do this piece. Let me take this back a little bit, and we'll go through that part again. And I'll let it fly through. So right about there.
Wish somebody would tell me I'm fine. Losing my sight, losing my mind. Wish somebody would tell me I'm fine. Nothing is
Secret note in there, a secret sauce. Okay, so you just heard me talk about secret sauce here. During that whole powerful blitzkrieg of energy at the end, where Ronnie even levels up, impossibly so, but does it with his vocal performance. Now we have an amalgamation, if you would, of different. I mean, I'm hearing some kind of choral choir styled pads are playing. A lot of this stuff could be done with engineering. I can't tell directly for sure. But at the very end of it, even with the accents of just, like a tom in the cymbal, or, excuse me, I'm not going to say it's a storm drum, just boom. But, I can't help it. Right now, that just kind of puts me in that epic video game kind of mode, musically, composing wise, because it's it's epic. There was that secret sauce note that you may have seen me go, yeah, I got that. That every time he ended up, that last chord in the string arranger added like a suspended note, which I believe it was the fourth. And there's when that note hangs out there, it gives you it's a beautiful suspended note that's asking for resolution, but he doesn't resolve that note and goes back into the core of, the changes that the composer is playing, or the arranger has written. And that leaves this kind of like intense pull, that unresolved, even though it's a beautiful note. And this performance is insanely, well, I'm not gonna say it's beautiful, but you know what I'm talking about, extremely powerful. And the darkness of the video and stuff like that, it kind of leaves you in that kind of purgatory. Something else that I noticed was great, and then I only noticed it on this watch, was the fact that some of the colors in the video started to change. I'm going to say a word is probably, you guys are going to probably smoke me in the comments. It's like a sepia tony kind of color. That anything that was wood in the video towards the end started popping a little color. Like I said, wow, there's a little wood color on that violin or something, or on the piano. But that was also what I would consider there was a little predictability in the build arrangement wise that I was waiting for, just as a composer going, yeah, come on, you're going to bring it. Ah, they brought it. All right. So it got bigger and fatter and richer, and it was all around the power of the ambient, ethereal string arrangement and composition. As far as the song was concerned, I thought it was a really nice song, but I think that there's probably some elements of either the piano arrangement or maybe the string, that ostinato, or that, you know, that pattern. Something probably has to do with a callback maybe from the original song or something, because usually there's something there about that. And but I thought this was killer. For me, it was great. I wasn't really planning on doing a video, and all of a sudden I said, I want to do this video. This is great. And I was like, Jesus, everybody's done it already. I'm like, who cares? I'll bring out something different, and I think I may have. So I'm sure if you're a fan of Falling in Reverse, you're really, you know, overwhelmed, and you know, this, you know, super nice break from, you know. And I looked at the genres again. I made myself re-aware of what the genres were considered: metalcore, post-metal, even a little rap thing that was going on there. So, but I think what little I know about Ronnie too, and some of the interviews and the passion that he's all about as an individual, as an artist, it doesn't surprise me one bit for him to make a decision to do a track like this. You know, I think that's the true essence of and power of an artist and a trajectory of a body of work. Did all those words just come out of my mouth? Jeez, and I haven't even drank my whole cup of coffee. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for your support. If you're still here, just type in "I'm still here." You want to buy me a cup of coffee, you know where the links are. Join me on Twitch. I think maybe even a little later today I might go on and play a game. I'm not too sure. We'll see. I don't know. I just got into gaming and I'm so stoked right now. I had to spend like $700 or $800 on a brand new GPU and what's it called, PSU or something, power supply. But now I can play Outer Wilds. I'm doing that. Journey, Minecraft with shaders. I'm like, wow, this is cool. I'm like, it's like you get old and you were told your whole life don't go into the candy store because it's bad for you. Now you're old going, I don't care. Now I'm going to all the candy store going, oh, the candy corn. Oh, look, Boston baked bean. Or what are they? Burnt beans. I love burnt beans. Or the Boston beans, you know? Anyhow, I digress. You guys take care. Have a killer day. All right.